syncretist friend, Keith Davis from US. He's come to Puerto Morelos, and he's a syncretist, and he's going to share his story to inspire one and all. We've been hanging out since he got here. He's going to go back and then come back to Puerto Morelos, where all the syncretists are here, gathered. And when I met Keith, I was feeling low that day, and I almost was going to say, how about we don't meet, because tomorrow will be a better day, I need a rest. But I'm glad I did, because it really inspired me. Keith's story is just incredible. So without further ado, I'll just ask the questions that I want to for people to have answered, and the knowledge that Keith has to inspire everyone, because this is a great story, and it's a story of not giving up and being a lion heart. And quite appropriately, Keith is a Leo, 23rd of July, so I've got a Leo rising, and so we are the lion hearts.
We are.
So let's get this thing going. What I'll do is I'll put this camera down over here.
Okay, it's a nice piece of fruit.
Yep. I want people to see though your
Yes. This will make much more sense when we get the story going, won't we?
All right. So I'm going to stay out of this because this is your story.
Okay, I'll go right there.
Yeah. Now, if I can get some comments from folks about the volume. How's the volume? Leo, you want to talk?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Leo. Keith?
Actually, Leo would be a good name. Yes. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I'm here. I have a little lapel mic on. I'm not sure if it's too close.
I'm just looking for a comment. So can anyone just tell us? Perfect. All right. Thanks, Rebecca. All right, guys. Crystal, skin, volume is great. Lovely. So this is Keith. Let's not chop out his bald head. You shave that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I think I'm going bald. This is receding. This is definitely receding.
Maybe we got to get rid of the old before the new comes in.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'll buy that one.
That melon is messing with you.
That melon.
A melon.
So I'm going to be out of the picture, and we're going to just start with. I want you to just share with folks, please. That's a good start.
Start it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get the energy right.
Ground it.
Lovely. All right, so first question is syncretism. How did that come into your life? And then we're going to go into your accident that you had at the age of 17, how that changed and affected your life, and how you overcome all obstacles. But first of all, what about syncretism? When did you come across syncretism?
I would say I came across your teachings. I think I was always trying to find it. I just didn't know what it was called. I'd been down so many rabbit holes for so long, for over 30 years, trying to figure this stuff out and not understanding that it was a oneness. I thought I had to go everywhere else and ask everybody. I'm like, why can't it be all together? And then I was down some rabbit hole and you came up, I would say maybe 6 years ago. And as soon as I saw you and you did this, it was in one of your lectures, you went like this, and you were talking about the REM. Of course you were. And it was like me being tapped. He was doing it to me. Like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, like that. And the word syncretism came through, and you explained what it was, and I just got a chill. And I said, it's got a word. It's finally got a word. It's not science, it's not spirituality, it's not, breathing, it's not eating properly, it's not, getting over your own bullshit. It's syncretism. Mm-hmm. It actually took a big weight off my shoulders of trying to figure it all out and have it be so many complex things.
Yeah.
And so once I got behind that it was one thing, it was like, thank God. and that word wasn't a new word. We had just forgot it had been buried somewhere underneath the lies. Yeah. I was like, I could even look it up, and they didn't want to even admit what it was. You know, I was like, it's a word, guys. It wasn't misspelled or anything when I typed it in. I'm like, it's a fucking word. And that just got me on your teachings. And I'll just go into this before my story. What got me here now is I was living in Phoenix with a really good friend of mine who isn't into the teachings, just one of my buddies. And he took, or the V, he got a little sick, took a second one, and died in my arms, choking on his own blood 2 days after. 2 days after his birthday, thinking he was going to free himself to go start traveling again and do all these things. And so that changed everything. The place we were living in, sold it. I said, where am I going next? And that was right around, so that was March. It's right around when you said, we've built it, you know, Field of Dreams, they'll come. And I was like, I got this shiver. I said, in 500 years, when I'm about to make my ascension and somebody asks me, who taught you syncretism? I'll say, the grandfather did. They won't believe me, probably. You know, who knows? But I wanted to be here while you were still here building it, before disciples go off and build their own, you know, versions of it somewhere. But this is where it had to be right now. So I've never been to Puerto Morelos. I'll get into why I'm in a wheelchair and what difficulties and opportunities that bring me. And it wasn't a matter of if, it was when am I going to move down. I said the sooner the better. There's nothing for me in America right now. It's purging itself, and you can either watch Babylon fall from underneath the tower, you might get some collateral damage, or you can monitor it from a different location and create a space for people to come when they're all limping their way in. You know what I mean? Because there'll be many. They're just not quite ready to pull the trigger. I think I've been ready since I was born for this work. I'm 49 years old now, so I feel like I have some weight under my belt to offer the movement through my experience, which I'll get into now. So I was always into metaphysical things growing up. I had a family that was into that. My mom and dad met at Berkeley back in the late 50s. They were free-thinking bohemians. And so we had that aspect going on. We understood karma and stars and spirituality. My mom's an interfaith minister. She studies all religions. So I understood that I wasn't just this body, which was comforting to me because I felt pretty bored growing up. I just saw the life people take, and I was like, why would I want to do that? It just seems ridiculous and a waste of gifts, you know, abilities. So this day before my 17th birthday, going on a surf trip, I grew up surfing in Los Angeles. I was a passenger in a car, my best friend driving. We go around a corner, spin, flip several times, and as soon as I felt my body lift up, I told the driver, the only thing I could come out of my head, my mouth, was relax. And I thought I was saying it for him, to not freak the car out, but it was for me to get in a state to leave the body. Relax, and boom. I jump out of the body and I watch a truck just going up, PCH rolling into the mountainside. And like they say, time slows down. You see your whole life flash before your eyes. You don't know how long that takes. It seems like it took forever. I'm watching above, and I feel comfort. I feel free. I don't feel like I'm in my body, but I'll tell you this, guys, when you go through the portal, understand that you take everything with you. You're not losing any consciousness. Whatever you know here, you take on. I didn't forget who my parents were, or who my brothers and sisters were, or what I loved to do. I was the same person. I was the same soul, I should say. And as that car came to rest, about 150 feet up, a voice comes into this right ear. It's a woman's voice, and she says, "Are you done down there yet?" And at 16 years old, almost 17 years old, I felt I wasn't. But I also felt I needed that experience so that I could, next time it happened, I wasn't going to get lost. This is before I knew the planets were portals, and, I don't want to go through the moon. That's a recyclist center, I want to go through the sun. So I wouldn't have known the difference at that age. I didn't have the remembrance yet. I needed to be back here and go to school, in a sense. So I said, I'm not done. And as soon as I did that, bang, I tasted the rust taste of blood in my mouth and the dirt everywhere. Because there's a certain dirt on PCH Highway in California. It's this really silty dirt, and I was covered in it with blood, like born back on Earth or something. Like a Martian almost. I was red in dirt, starting over, but with so much more information. So I had transcended the physical part of my disability, like that. That thing that was going to take some people 1, 2, 10, a lifetime to figure out, to get over, I was already over. I was already smiling. It was like, I got this. I didn't even know what had happened to me. I didn't know that I had broken my back and couldn't walk. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if a spine could regenerate itself. I didn't know if I was going to live, per se. I knew I was going to be fine, but I didn't know what was in front of me. I just knew that I came back by choice, which means that the angels will help me along the way. I wasn't resisting it. This was going to be a joyride, like a free ride, basically, because I got the downloads. And at 17, it's hard to tell a 50 or an 80-year-old that you have the information, that you have the codes, They're just amazed that you have such a good attitude. So I can meet them on that level. I can meet anybody and they say like, wow, you just don't seem like it phases you. But really what I want to tell them is syncretism. That's what I want to tell them. I didn't have the words yet. So I just went through life with the great dignity and nobility, and maybe it's a Leo thing, but isn't it funny I'm a lion and it got me in the spine?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It's funny. I did your transits for the day of the accident, and Mercury retrograding was in on the same degree as Mars, and you had 3 retrograding planets in Capricorn, which is the skeletal system. So, and there's a lot more to it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it, but it's definitely it's there in the chart.
It was fate, and it had to happen, and that's why I took it on. I chose it. I understand why I chose this particular injury at that particular time, because I was going on a path of arrogance and elitism. I could tell. I could tell that everything was going to be easy. A white, educated male that is a good athlete and a good leader and clever and witty and can make people laugh, you could get away with murder here, but never be fulfilled, ever. I had to cut myself in half, literally, and break my thoracic T10-11 vertebrae right at my heart. I had to break it open for the information to get in. Literally had to do that. And people are like, that's crazy, you just broke your back. I'm like, no, you have to understand how the body works, how physiology works. Sometimes you gotta shake things up a little bit to get more in. And I opened my heart to God and said, I'll roll this path with you if you keep allowing me to rise and stay above, you know, roll on water, if you will, with my brothers. So when they're in a funk, all I'll have to do is roll in and wink at them, and they'll get over it. They'll get over their stuff quick, because you can't bring an old dying complaint into somebody who is happy and sovereign. We'll burn it up, or you won't want to hang around us, because I wouldn't allow it. You know, if you want to get on the train with me, it's a peace train, and it's going full steam ahead. You know, I'll lay back sometimes and let somebody kind of have their little stuff, but then it's like, it's time. You ready? You ready? Let's go. Jump up. And if you can use your legs and wiggle your toes in the sand and do all the other things that maybe I can't do, you better do it. You better be grateful for it. You better really understand the miracle of this body, because it's a snowflake and it's beautiful. And even if somebody gets an arm chopped off or leg chopped off or some kind of indifference, the gifts that they are given are immense if they understand syncretism. We're not taught that when sometimes something's taken away, you're given something much more incredible and powerful. We're just taught, oh, it's so sorry for him, and you know, it's too bad he'll never do those things he wanted to do, and you know, here's a little room to go into and die. No more. We're not doing that anymore. You know, everybody has something to say. Everybody has something to share. Everybody has gifts that were given, and there are no accidents. This was not an accident. It was an injury. We all get injured. It was not an accident. If you look at the chart, he could tell you something interesting is going to happen to that kid the day before his 17th birthday, right?
Right.
And had I known more about that, who knows? Would I take it back? Probably not. Not if it means forgetting all the stuff that I know now. I do it 1,000,000 times more, especially if I can help people get over their shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, wow. And just to jump to stuff that you've achieved in this condition, you've been a professional athlete ever since, right?
Yep.
So what kind of competitions have you competed in?
Yeah, always loved sports. Wanted to be a professional surfer, wanted to be a professional basketball player, and always loved music as a child. And turns out, after I got injured, I found that there was a full ride scholarship to play wheelchair basketball at a major university in America, University of Illinois. So, not knowing anything really, but loving the game of basketball, I said, I could do that. Ended up getting a full ride scholarship, which paid for my music school, which after going there for 4 years and winning a national championship in basketball, I got into wheelchair racing, which took me all around the world doing marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks, half marathons, triathlons, which got me to be the best wheelchair racer in the United States in '99 and 2000, which got me onto the U.S. Paralympic team for Sydney, which got me into the 200, the 400, the 1500, the 400, the 4x100, and the 4x400 meter events in Sydney, which was an amazing thing. I got to march the Olympic torch in LA for the 2004 Athens Games. So I've been around sports my whole life, but my real gift, that's a temporary thing. Sports is temporary. It's for the self. It doesn't, as soon as that race is over, people forget about it. They don't know who won the gold thing in 1950, whatever, and who, they don't. But what's really lasts is music, and that's music is in me. And you guys will hear my music eventually when I get back down here. And writing songs and holding frequencies and healing through music and sound is really what God put me here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because that I can do for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
I don't have to be racing wheelchairs forever, you know. And I stopped competing 15 years ago. I've just been doing music stuff since then.
Right.
And studying
Right.
how the universe works.
So you basically you haven't let this stop you from living your life to the full. You've lived it to the full. You've got here. You brought
So much
two
gear.
big suitcases. You've got a bicycle. You've bought all this equipment.
A tennis chair. I got beach wheels. I go out on the beach today, or I go out of the hotel, and who's smack dab in front of this sign? You should show them this sign.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is the front of my room. It says love with a V. All you need is love.
Yeah.
And dead smack in front of there is Santos doing yoga. And I figured he knew where he was. Turns out he didn't even know where this hotel is, how he got, you know, you just follow Danny down or something? Or
well, I don't know what the back of the hotels
Right.
look like,
Right.
as opposed to the front when I'm on the beach. So
yeah, and he was there. I'm like, of all the, literally in line of sight of my bed, I could see your head.
my big head.
Big, yeah, with a love, right, you know, underneath you. It was perfect. So I put my beach tires on. See that thing I put on the front? And I roll all the way down to the water, and he sees me because I go to a 2-mile swim, and we go out into the water, and I'm just like, this is it. This is why I'm here, to share and learn. I mean, he might be inspired by me, but he's my inspiration. Mm-hmm. I've been looking for a mentor for a long time, one that has put the work in and really understands how this works. I mean, how many years have you been at this?
Exactly 40 now.
40 years.
Exactly. But you could even say longer than that, because as a child, being a Jehovah's Witness, I studied theology. I was learning theology all the way through, and reading books as a young teenager as well, because I left school at 14 and a half, and then immediately purchased a whole bunch of books from Double Bay Book Club, and that way I continued my learning at home, which was better than all the learning I did at school. In one day, you know, I felt more satisfied in what I'd learned than all the years I was at school.
That's amazing. And I'm so excited. There wasn't a lot that was exciting me about this world, even after doing all the sports stuff, and I knew that Babylon was gonna fall. I had to. So I wasn't inspired in the last several years to dig into something that was going to blow itself up. You know what I mean? I needed the beginning of the new earth.
Yes.
That's what I had. That's the only thing that was going to keep me here. To go through all the BS.
Right.
You know, and dig down the rabbit holes, and, you know, come down to a foreign country and sight unseen. It had to be something that I knew that was building, exalting. We're going this way. So you inspired me to take the risk. You know, I don't know if anyone else on the planet could have done it. From all the research I've done.
Wow.
You know, like, they just don't have it all together. They compartmentalize, and then they lose their way.
Yeah.
And they can't help anybody when you stay here. You know, it's self-serving.
Yes. Yeah. You have to expand. If you're going to be a real truther, you have to study all the fields of knowledge. There's nothing that you can say, no, I don't want to open my mind to that. You know,
Right.
so.
Or it's too hard. I do everything but language, or I do you know, because they think in their head they can't learn something, or they're not good at math, or they're not good. I don't know. You got to say, I'm good at all those things. I just forgot how to do it. I want to learn how to read my eyes. I want to learn how to read my chart and understand medical astrology. I want to do that. Maybe not as a master, but if you put it in front of me, I think there was a time where even a young person understood their physiology and could heal themselves and knew how the body worked. Now we just run to a specialist and look the other way. If I would have relied on doctors to tell me what was going on with me, I'd be dead. I'd be on every medication, depressed, complaining all the time, surgeries. Here's an interesting one. They put titanium rods in my spine, because that's what they do, rip you open, screw rods in you. And it was right when I was going through a growth spurt, 17 years old. Within 6 months, I had snapped them all, bing, bump, all the places where they were attached. And now I have this piece of metal floating in my back, and I'm telling the doctors, I'm like, this hurts. They're like, that's just how it's going to be for you. I was like, no, something's wrong. They're like, we don't make mistakes. I'm like, no, it sucks. I'd been seeing a acupuncturist. She says, no good. Chinese acupuncturist, no chi. So I had to go back down there, convince these assholes that there's something wrong. Their ego's like, nope. They take an x-ray, find out all the things are broken, and then they go, we're going to have to take those out. I'm like, really? Right? They didn't want to be wrong. Now they're right because they did the x-ray, and like, yeah, we're going to have to take those out. Rip them back out, another major surgery, bang, and I still didn't take pain medication through that. I haven't taken an aspirin. I don't even own any drugs because I know that that's the world they want you in. They want you just stuck.
Yeah.
Especially when something happens to you and you're young and you don't know what it is, and you give away your authority to them, and they think they know. They have no idea what this is. It's like taking nutrition advice from a fat idiot with a poster on his wall. I want to be, do, and have the things that the people I admire are doing, being, and having. Not take advice from a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Just because he's an authority figure. So I've stayed away from hospitals, doctors, medicine, drugs, the whole thing, just because I know I'm okay. I'm okay. God doesn't make mistakes, right? So that's why all this stuff makes sense to me, And if I have to do it in a wheelchair, so be it. And if that inspires people to get over their stuff, emotional disabilities, mental disabilities, physical disabilities, we're all kind of busted up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we can't rise.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. The day I met you, I was depressed. I didn't sleep well the night before. So I felt a kind of a shame over me when you were talking, because you were just as positive as you are now, and I thought to myself, I don't think I'd have the same attitude as you if I lose my legs. I love being mobile and having my legs, right? So I thought to myself, well, you're just depressed over the fact that you've had a few sleepless nights and you're not feeling too well. So I felt a kind of a shame come over me, but that immediately turned into inspiration. I just thought, right, no more, complaining and whinging about what I hadn't got, and just appreciate what I have got.
Absolutely. And like I said, you can forget.
Yeah.
I forget. Everybody forgets. We're in this weird sleep state where we get an inspiration and then we get back on some kind of hamster wheel and we totally forget all that stuff we learned, but we never totally forget. We can recharge and re-inspire. And I get the same through you. when I'm feeling a little bit confused, I just watch one of your videos and it gets me back on track.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. For you, maybe you're taking it, for granted something that is a gift. So I need to roll in, and you go, I got it. Right?
Yep.
That's how we help each other. So if I can bring that to syncretism, an unwavering, positive, powerful sense of self, then that's my gift to share.
Yeah.
And that's easy for me.
Yeah.
Where somebody else goes, I don't know if I could do it. I go all day and twice on Sunday for me. I'll shake it off, the lion heart, right?
Yeah.
We go, is that all you got? We don't cower. We put our spine up and anybody else have anything to say? Want to whine and complain? No? Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
So the lion and the lamb, right? I'm the shield.
Yeah.
And you're charging.
Yeah.
So let me protect you from the BS, and you keep poking people in the right here, stirring that thing up, and I'll make sure that they don't come up from back and try to sting you.
Oh yeah, I know I've got angels that have got my back, that's for sure. I've been through. Well, it was 2 years and 3 days ago that I struggled for my life against someone who came to murder me, and it ended up very, very bad for him. He got killed. There was a 15-minute battle where me and another woman had to fight for our lives. He had a baseball bat and a knife, and yeah, we survived it. Very, very lucky. Molly's still injured and getting treatment. I was getting treatment as well when I was in the States. I received crimes victims compensation, so that was good. I had a few injuries, my back and stuff, so I got massages and things. But I felt the angels. They got my back. What you're saying there,
you did.
Having my back,
They did.
that's all taken care of spiritually as well.
Yeah.
I know that. And
I feel that all the time, and I feel that I can be that for people as well with just holding space.
Yeah.
I'll be the calmest person in the middle of the storm, generally because I already saw it from a 35,000 foot view.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had mentioned that the day I came was the anniversary of that incident, a 2-year anniversary. So that's a shift for you.
Yeah.
To bring in a protector instead of an aggressor.
Yeah. Exactly.
You did something. You did some work. You had to wrestle with an angel.
I did.
On Jacob's, on the 33rd rung of the ladder.
Yes, I did.
That was your ego.
Yeah, as you heard a voice telling you to relax, I didn't hear a voice, but my attitude was keep going. Just keep going. I didn't know what the end was. I had visions of all these various timelines, all these different eventualities. I saw one where I was cut to pieces and dead, and she was beaten to a pulp, and then I saw another one where we all got injured, and everybody was lying there, bleeding to death, and then I saw another one where I had all my fingers cut off, and I was thinking about I can never play the guitar again. And
I think all those happened.
It was all
in different times for you. And this was your time to say, not this time.
That's right.
Because what that guy sounds like was all the worst parts of you. The jealous, crazy, thug, bully, whatever, all rolled into one. And you said, no, this far and no further. And after that, Jacob was not a noble enough name for you.
Yes.
Right? You passed over,
Yes.
into the right side.
I did, because since then I haven't had a fear of death at all. I know that how protection works.
Yeah.
Because I went through it. You know, I've never been through anything like
And
that.
you would not know what you're talking about, or if somebody else was talking about it, unless you felt that.
Yeah.
It would all been theory, hearsay. I read it in a book. I saw it on Oprah, whatever. But when you go through something like that and you look death right in the face and you say, "Is that all you got?" Something happens to you that is forever. You'll never forget it.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, it was a gift in a way for me
Yeah.
because it gave me the fortitude, it gave me the assurance that everything gets taken care of. If it's not your time, it's not your time.
Couldn't have got in the way of that in any other way.
Yeah.
Just like in my injury, my best friend was driving. Neither of us died. If we were both supposed to die together, so be it. If one of us was supposed to die and the other one was supposed to grieve that, so be it. But it turned out perfectly. We remained being best friends. I'm sure that he felt some trepidation about feeling like he was part of that, but I could have been driving just as easily.
Was he racing or
No.
did he do anything wrong? No.
No, just young. Just being a 16-year-old, using my car for the first time. He had never driven it. He was driving because I had stayed up late the night before roadieing for him because he was a musician. So I handed him the keys and he's like, "I'll drive because you stayed up late." It's just that little moment where you hand the keys over. Because my fate that day, if you look at my chart, was for me to have that experience. I wouldn't have had that experience if I was driving.
Wow.
You know? So there are absolutely no accidents, and you can get through all of it if you understand you're not your body. You have a temporary suit, and it can be a suffer suit or an incredible multicolored coat with wings. And it's all attitude.
Yeah.
And when you forget, forgive yourself. Sometimes I'll struggle, can't get to this place, things are upstairs, no one's here to help me, Oprah or me, why doesn't this world work for me, this is bullshit. And then I swear if I just breathe, get out of that victim mode and look around, there's either a better way to get there, somebody that's been waiting to help me that is just arriving, or that wasn't the fucking place I should have been anyway.
Yeah.
Got to get out of my own way. You know? Because there's something better for me on the other side of that building or on the other side of that beach or whatever. God didn't forget about me.
No.
He just knew I was going to have too easy of a time, so he's like, you need a little bit more. You need a little challenge, buddy. You know? So I was like, if I can play with God like that daily, I never feel forsaken. Because he doesn't sleep.
Right.
Neither do I.
Exactly.
Right? And it makes it fun because I'm like, what else you got? You know what? There's nothing I can't do. And if there is, it probably wasn't worth doing. And a syncretist is all of us. I don't care if you could only blink one eye. You know?
Yes.
That's a syncretist.
Yep.
I don't care if you're an Olympic athlete, you're a syncretist.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's a lot of suffering in the world today. There's poverty increasing, sickness, and I get contacted by people who are in all sorts of horrible situations and predicaments, and always want some word of encouragement, enlightenment, some direction. They're always seeking direction, you know. So what would you say to folks like that? How would you encourage them?
It's as easy as know thyself. It's it seems hard, but It really isn't. It all comes from here first. And then you understand from here, you created this. The situation you're in right now, regardless of what it is. Poor, disabled, crazy, all these things. You chose it all so that you could break through it. So that you could have that experience to say, is that all you got? So when all the warriors come, with all their wings, and you meet the devil head on, and you go, we got this. We've been here. You don't cower. You have to have adversity to do that. This isn't who we are. This isn't who we are. We're this. Yeah. We're right here. This is how we walk into a room like this. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. You know, that's a human being.
Yeah.
Being pulled up.
Yeah.
Upright. And even though my spine broke and I can't walk, I can still act the part.
Yeah.
We can all do that.
Yeah.
Dignity.
Dignity.
Nobility.
So you're about 6'2" or something, right?
Yeah.
And so now this has brought you down to what, about 5 foot?
Yeah, let's say 4'8".
4'8". Okay, so you were saying that now you were looking down at people and that affected your attitude, which it can do. Tall people can come across sometimes, if they're bossy or arrogant, as overbearing. So you're looking up at people now mostly, even short people like myself, 5'7", So, but
you're towering over me.
Yeah, but how did that affect your attitude and?
Beautiful experience of how to be reminded daily that we're all equal. Mm-hmm. And if that had to be me, especially women, most women are right here.
Yeah.
So I come into a room, I'm the lowest thing in the room.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So I've gotten very good at, being humble down here. And not doing this, not looking over the top.
Yeah.
So to have experienced being tall and then not is very interesting. Mm-hmm. To have something and have it taken. Yeah. That's the gift. Yeah. If you don't know any better, who knows? But when you think you knew and then it gets cut up from under you and then you get flipped around, and then the joke's on you, and you have the grace to laugh at yourself, as you're relearning to do everything, tie your shoes again, go to the bathroom again, get into your car again. How do you do this, become independent as you can again? If you do that with grace, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yep.
It's literally a trip, And there's always help if you want it. And sometimes you just need to figure some stuff out on your own. And not just run for help all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to take off your diapers and put your big boy pants on and buck up and say, I got this. Yeah. I can go to school. I can study music. I can go to the Paralympics. I can be whatever I want to be, And then it's time to inspire others.
Wow. Wow. So you've had great opportunities to inspire people. Do you enjoy? You must really enjoy that, and to see people get motivated by you just coaching them there from the sideline, and just.
What else is there? It's why you do it. Mm-hmm. If you knew that no one was ever going to see your work, and it was just going to be for you, you'd have left a long time ago.
Yeah.
You'd have packed up and either went into the Himalayan mountains and we'd never seen you, or you would have just found a bridge and said, this is a stupid place.
Yeah, I long to do that actually. I'd love to be a hermit, but
not yet.
I can't.
We got some building to do.
Yeah. I simply can't. I've created something that I have to keep feeding now, and I'm happy to do it. It's very labour intense, and it really, really does drain me daily. Daily I get drained.
It's a lot of work.
I never ever consolidate and save a bit of energy for tomorrow. I always burn it all out.
Sounds like a ram.
Right till the very last thing, and then I hit the sack.
At the top. Yeah.
And by then it's already too late. You know?
And right now, everybody that has any kind of consciousness awakening should be tired. There's a lot of people I know that are as tired now as they've ever been because of this convergence.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I usually don't need more than 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Now I'm finding myself sleeping 3, 4, 5 hours, taking a nap sometimes, and not freaking out about it. I know what's happening. You know, cellular DNA activation, you got to know when to rest. You really do, and not always push. It's okay to go into the cave for a bit and watch it go by. There's nothing you can do. Babylon's fallen.
Yeah.
It's just crumbling.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing better at giving myself time, space, just to close my eyes and breathe.
Yeah.
And then come back harder.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, within a year and a half, there's going to be a lot of people that are coming this way.
Yeah.
Physically and spiritually.
I know.
And if it's set up properly, it won't be chaotic.
It won't be.
This.
Yeah.
This is the chaotic part.
It is. We've been in chaos ever since we shook hands, Danny and I, to form the Syncretism Society and have an academy. We've been running off our feet, and I haven't had a moment of, you know, rest or break. Not a moment.
Because the baby's still crying.
Yeah.
And she needs her bottle, and she's got to go poo-poo and pee-pee, and, you know,
Yeah.
she can't sit up. Her head's too big.
Yeah.
You know, it's a precious time.
Yes.
So I understand.
Yeah.
And that's why we're coming down, to help in any way we can.
Yeah.
To do any heavy lifting, spiritually or not, that I can, I'll just sit and hold space for you if you need me to. Whatever. I'll bring you juice.
Yeah.
I'll play my songs.
We're going to jam when you come back next time with your guitars.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and we'll do it live as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna follow up on this, and we're gonna do another one because I know from the comments that
You can't even see it.
people will be.
I love all you people. How are my fellow syncretists doing?
Love all you bags of flesh. Wowzers. Yeah, wowzers. It's amazing. It does sound great, guys.
Perfect.
Thanks, Rebecca. So
Here's to the lion hearts.
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know that the caliber and the quality of the people in the syncretism community, and I think they'll be wanting to hear from you again, you know, another follow-up, because right now, indeed, people are needing some inspiration and some hope, and well, I guess some guidance and direction. And you certainly have that just with your attitude alone, which is a divine heaven sent a gift. You've gifted me a lot of fortitude and positivity. It's turned my last couple of days around.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, because
That makes my whole trip worth it. Right there.
Well, I've been in the remembrance of what happened 2 years ago,
Right.
and I felt it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
That's
felt
heavy.
it for
That's
2
heavy
years.
stuff. Maybe you hadn't even processed it properly.
Probably not.
Yeah. You did what I did. When I had my injury, when I went up in the body, I didn't fully come back in it because I didn't trust it. So what I found out 15 years later or more, because this was 32 years ago, maybe 20 years later, I had somebody that could read auras. And he said, do you know that you're still about 90 to 100 feet above your body right now? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. And that's exactly the height I watched my injury from. He didn't know I had anything about that because I didn't trust it down here. And that's why I was able to be aloof down here and not really care about what happened. You know, I was like, none of this matters. But I wasn't connecting here yet with people. I had an indifference still, a bit of an arrogance about my spiritual situation because they hadn't seen it or felt it, so they couldn't understand it. And that wasn't working.
Yeah.
They might be inspired by me, but I wasn't inspired by them.
Wow.
So when he finally did that, and he cut that cord and I came back in my body, that's when I cried finally.
Come on.
And
Because you processed it?
I said I was back truly in.
Yeah.
The spirit was back in the body.
Wow.
And then I started feeling everything.
Yeah.
Then I started having empathy
Yeah.
for people
Wow.
that didn't have my same experience and all that. And that helped my music out, and that helped my relationships out, and that opened my heart in a way that I'd never seen before. And I had no idea that I was floating, watching myself saying like, because like I said, I was like, this is a temporary place. I'm not going back in there if you're going to trick me again like that, you know?
Right.
I was like a puppet.
Yeah.
You could do anything to me down here, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But that's not why we're here. We're here to feel that.
Yes.
Sometimes that heaviness. And sometimes have your heart broken open and cry
For sure.
when you see something that's so beautiful or sometimes so painful.
Yeah.
That's what being human is.
Wow.
So that's what I got to get.
Do it, do it, do it. Oh, we've got a Greek friend. What's his name? Philimos Blachomoulos.
Hi, Blachomulos.
Philimos means friend, doesn't it?
Oh, okay, maybe.
Is that
Like-
right, Philimos?
Like Philadelphia?
So, if you've got questions, guys.
Sure. How
now-
much? I don't know how much time Santos has. He's running around. You wouldn't believe this guy. Didn't you just do a podcast earlier today?
Yeah.
And then you did a live last night.
Yeah.
And then you were out on the beach with me in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you have a dinner thing and then coming up.
Yeah.
And that's why you're busted up,
Yeah.
because you're always running around. But like I said, this is the crucial time. The baby isn't sitting up on her own yet. So
Yeah.
take advantage.
All right. So, guys, what about some questions? If you've got some questions, let's see. Will I return with Sam Tripoli? He's invited me on the Tinfoil Hat Show. Yep. Thanks, Keith, for sharing your story. Your voice is relaxing. Beautiful.
Oh.
Right. What about your thought of the state of Los Angeles? What are you thinking about Los Angeles?
That's Babylon. Venice Beach, where I grew up, in between Santa Monica Pier and Venice Pier right now. Was a beautiful stretch of bike path I used to go on every day. Is now tent city.
Yeah.
And it had to be. It has to go this way. It wasn't worth saving. It has to blow up. You know, I got to see it back in the 70s and 80s when it was just a beautiful art community. And then Google came in and bought everybody out and made a little bungalow worth $2 million. And then that became a $5 million 3-story high-rise that no one could afford. And it's perfect. I love having a billionaire and a bum right next to each other, and they have to deal with each other. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And all the smart folk, God bless us, we said, this isn't me. I gotta go.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. All right, so I'm getting a lot of questions.
Wow.
So yes, he did. He is still friends with the guy he gave the keys to.
Yeah,
yes?
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a karmic connection. We love each other for
Yep.
life. No guilt, no shame.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this around.
Oh, so you can read those.
Yeah. So I can read these. Right. Because I want to get some of these questions.
Absolutely.
Where do people go to see your music?
Well, that's a good question. I'll have to start a channel. I've always been interested in doing things anonymously when I was doing music production. but I will get here and I will share on any one of these channels that, you know, maybe on the Syncretism Society, maybe do a song channel where I sing songs or work with other artists or do recordings and production, or it's coming.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of songs to share. You'll see them soon enough.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a nice little troll here. This Greek guy.
Awesome.
He's obviously just a degenerate. He's
Do it. Is that our buddy?
yeah, do it. He's saying do a backflip. Like this guy.
Right.
This guy thinks he's smart.
I mean, I get a kick out of those guys, you know, because they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good to see retarded people around because you know how
Right.
good and it's good. It just reminds you.
I'd like to see him do
intelligent, you know?
I'd like to see him do a backflip.
Yeah, well, he can't. All
Yeah.
he can do is
No,
be
he can't.
a coward,
He can't.
faceless keyboard warrior, and that is so sad. What a sad, despicable.
If he wants to meet me on the beach at 6 a.m., we could talk about it.
Nah, he'll be sitting there in his mum's basement, picking his nose and scratching his ass and doing nothing. Whereas you've done everything. You've been to the Olympic Games. You've been a hero to many, many people, and he's sitting there going, "Do a backflip." This is boring. Oh wow. Oh well.
Oh, he's a mental midget.
Yeah, the Greek is typical. Is he a typical Greek? It speaks volumes about Greek people, dude. I think you better change your nationality and your name because
you're not helping the Greeks.
Really, really bad.
I know some great Greeks.
Sorry, Philamos or whatever your name is. I wish I had someone to, but everything is so positive. Everybody else realizes that he's a troll and a degenerate. So, but look at this, man. You've got thousands of appreciative people. Look, this is just beautiful.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Live the difference. Someone says I should sit next to you. Well, let's try that then.
Yeah, over here.
All right.
You can sit on this.
Well,
or there.
I can do it this way.
There you go.
Okay.
There, he's kneeling.
Here we go. So I'm usually always the shorter guy.
All right, so this makes sense.
All right,
this is like we should be. This would be me if I was standing up.
Can't see the comments though, but here we are, and
Prayer hands.
thank you, Keith, for sharing.
You're most welcome. My pleasure.
Santos, I don't believe in race. Well, we are the human race, I guess.
Yeah, it's the toughest race of all.
Yeah. Two beautiful advanced souls, glowing to you. Enjoyed the video. Thank you for the motivation. Yeah, so
Awesome.
totally positive, and this is why I did this, folks. I wanted people to be inspired, you know, rather than making more jokes and mockery about people's conditions. And we can uplift people. We can share something with them. Keith has got a lot to share. This morning, he was on the beach, on the sand, rolling his wheelchair right up to the water, gets off, gets in the water and goes for a 2-mile swim. You should see this guy swimming, man. He's swimming in the ocean for 2 miles. Most people don't even get out of bed and bother to go,
It's true.
to the ocean. So it's just truly inspiring, and this is what we want. We want people like that in the world. Could you write a book about your life? That's from Rebecca. Rebecca's been.
Oh, Rebecca.
Yeah.
I want to hear a book about your life.
Yeah.
We all got a story. Mine might just, you know what it was? What I found out is we all get the downloads. I just happen to get a lot of information in a moment, where sometimes it takes people a couple marriages, a couple somethings, a couple decades to get to the point of clarity.
Mm.
And since I'm a lazy lion, I'd rather have it all right now, right? Than take 60 years to start asking the right questions.
Yeah.
So for me, it personally worked perfectly.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much to handle.
Yeah.
It was, I want the whole hard drive right now.
Yep.
Plug me in.
Yep.
Beat me up.
Beautiful, brother. All right, well, I'm going to close it off at that.
Awesome.
Make it short and sweet, because I know there's a lot more we can say, but we can do that
Yes.
in another episode and situation, perhaps on the beach or something like that, something more. We had to come in here because it's noisy out there,
Yeah.
and besides, someone was cooking bacon, and I was just...
There was
just
definitely
Oh, there's bacon all around here, and so...
It hit him like a napalm bomb. He ran for cover.
Oh my, it was awful. I don't know how people can have bacon and eggs in the morning. It's just really... I used to do that.
You understand.
I used to do that.
You were there.
Yeah.
We're all waking up.
Yeah. So short and sweet for this time, and
They can get you here.
I just want to thank you so much, Keith.
You bet.
Everyone's been inspired, and even for our good friend the troll there, you know, that's the way it works. I'm glad we had that side. I'm glad we had all these beautiful people giving you so much love and being inspired by you, and to see the ungrateful ones as well. As Jesus said, hey, when the one leper came back, he healed 10 lepers, and one came back and said, thank you. And Jesus says, thank you for coming back to say thank you. He said, see, 9 were ungrateful, but 1 was grateful. Be the grateful one. Right? So thank you, Philimos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for being negative and trying to be funny and a troll, because you remind us, you're the ones, you keyboard cowards, you are the ones who keep us on edge.
Yep.
You really do, because we are above you. You know, we strive always to be above that base vibration of being just a low vibrating creature with no inspiration. Look at this man, Keith. He's smiling. He's all heart and beauty, you know. Just to have Keith in my life now is going to be an asset for me forever, because now I have been in his presence and I've experienced what the Greeks called paradosis, which means exchange of consciousness. So I've entered your conscious field and I've acquired all that experience. I've acquired all of that insights that you've gotten, and now it's with me. You've given it to me, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
You've been watching my videos.
Absolutely.
I gave you knowledge as well. So now you've come back. You know, the Bible says, put your bread out on the waters, and it will return.
Perfect.
All right. So much love, folks. There's the man of inspiration of the hour. Thank you, God. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Ometeot. And please, guys, stay strong, stay virtuous, stay happy, and keep up the fine fight, as it says in Ephesians, and wake up the sleepers. Awake ye sleepers, before the end comes. Okay, brother. Until next time. Take care.